President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration will ensure Nigerians vote in an atmosphere conducive for free and fair election. Governor Yahaya Bello swears in Justice Josiah Majebi as substantive chief judge of Kogi State. China to fully restore travel across its borders with Hong Kong and Macau next week. And on sports, Chelsea confirms Laurence, Stewart and Paul Winstanley as co-sporting directors. This is the MLC TV Global News, reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the confluent state of Nigeria. I am Joshua Adinoy, thanking you for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari says, despite the high-spirited mood typical of election seasons, his administration will ensure that Nigerians vote in an atmosphere conducive for free and fair election come February 25th and March 11th, 2023. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, explained that Buhari made the call when he received Mikuria in Nigeria for a global conference on fragile borders with the theme Enabling Customs in Fragile and Conflict-Affected Situations. While commending Mikuria for his fourth visit to Nigeria, Buhari said his latest appearance comes when the electorate goes to the polls. He said he has made it a cardinal commitment to ensure Nigerians are able to exercise their franchise by participating in a free and fair election in true practice of the relatively nascent democracy. Buhari also lamented that the porous borders of many African states and the attendant proliferation of illicit arms were fueling economic sabotage and prolonging the fight against terrorism. He argued that Nigeria and her neighbors must place a high premium on the effective policing of borders, as the fragile nature of entry points into various countries enhances terrorism. The Ohinoi of EBIRA land, Dr. Ado Ibrahim, has finally resolved his rift with the Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello. The peace meeting took place at the burial of late Tafida of EBIRA land, Dr. Abdulaziz Umar Farouk, with the paramount traditional ruler promising to accompany and support every step taken by Governor Bello in the interest of the EBIRA nation. He promised to work harmoniously with the governor in the interest of the people of EBIRA land. Responding, Governor Yahaya Bello assured that till the expiration of his administration, the settled rift will be the last between him and the Ohinoi of EBIRA land. Governor Yahaya Bello has sworn in Justice Josiah Majebi as the substantive chief judge of Kogi State. Governor Bello, while conducting the ceremony at the Government House, Lokoja, enjoined the state new chief judge to discharge his duty without fear or favor. Bello said his administration's support for the judiciary remain unwavering and urged the staff judges to support the new chief judge to discharge his duties to humanity. Our reporter has the detail.
Following the approval by the National Judicial Council (NJC) to appoint Justice Josiah Majebi as the substantive Kogi State Chief Judge, the family and well-wishers converged on the premises of the Government House to witness the swearing-in. His citation was read by the Secretary to the State Government, Folashade Ayoade, at the Glass House, after which Justice Majebi took an oath of office.
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Governor Bello charged Justice Majebi to discharge his duties to ensure justice is equal to all. He commended him for the job well done during the period he acted as the Chief Judge.
My Lord is a product of due process. We follow the laid down statutory stipulations for succession, especially Section 271, subsection 4 and 5 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria as amended. his confirmation day before yesterday rather, by the Kogi State House of Assembly follows his clearance by the National Judicial Council and is simply the culmination of the legal steps which have led us to today. The Honorable Chief Judge, whom we have just sworn in, is in the 5th occupant of the office whom I will be working with since my inauguration in 2016 as Governor of Kogi State. Like all of his predecessors, he has the education, the character, and the experience which we expect in the occupant of the 3rd highest office in our state. In addition, during his time as acting Chief Judge, his Lordship displayed cognate experience in the office. He did not give the state or myself any cause to fear that he will be anything but erudite, principled, and fair. We have no reason to believe that we will change now, of course, or he will change now.
Bello promised his administration will continue to do its best at putting the judiciary in its rightful position.
Nigeria is currently at a crossroad as citizens prepare to elect a wide range of public officials, including a new president. The issues at stake are existential and passions are high. Parties and candidates and choices will differ, and inevitably the judiciary will be called in to act as final arbiter in many a contest. I expect that the judiciary in our state will join her brothers all over the country in living up to expectations. I therefore commend to our Chief Judge and other distinguished jurists of our judiciary the immortal words of the Greek philosopher Socrates, and I quote, "4 things belong to a judge: to hear courteously, to answer wisely, to consider soberly, and to decide impartially." End of quote. I believe that with these 4 pillars as his watchword, his Lordship will do great in his office. On our part as the executive arm, I undertake that we will continue to work in tandem and in amity with both the state legislature and judiciary to keep delivering quality governance to Kogi State.
Governor Bello urged the Chief Judge to use his wealth of experience in advancing the state judiciary, saying Nigeria presently needed a vibrant judiciary that will live up to expectations. The State Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Mohammed San, who was represented by the Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary, Habib Abdullahi, described the governor as the best in the history of the state. According to him, the recent naming of Governor Yahaya Bello as one of the 6 performing governors by the president was justifiable as seen in the development programs.
In addition to his achievement in the areas of providing security, social amenities, other services for the state, I have no doubt in my mind that His Excellency is the best governor of the state has ever produced, and prosperity will be kind to him. No wonder some days ago in Kano, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President MUHAMMADU BUHARI, publicly commend the governors of 6 states in this country for the good work they are doing in their various states. It will be pleasing for us to know that the governor of Kogi State was one of those governors publicly praised by the President for their good works. That should not be a surprise to all of us in Kogi State, as we are all witnesses to the positive development and achievement that the governor, Bello, has brought to the Kogi State.
Habib expressed appreciation to the State House of Assembly for prompt confirmation of the appointment of the Chief Judge. The new Kogi State Chief Judge, Justice Josiah Majebi, said his vision is to ensure judicial integrity. He outlined programs, directorates, and units he has established, including new ones embarked upon.
The condition of service of the magistrates and the area court judge was harmonized. Consequently, area court judges can now rise to the management level and also to the higher bench. Traversing of magistrates and area court judges from one employment cadre to another was also abolished. A finance disbursement committee was constituted to disburse funds after payment of salaries and allowances from the monthly subvention of the court, while an intelligence and surveillance department was constituted as a unit in the Directorate of Protocol to strengthen the initial internal security system of the High Court, in furtherance of the resolve of my administration to embrace transparency, accountability, dedication, commitment, and professionalism towards sustenance of an enduring institution. I created the Directorates of Establishment and Training, General and Revenue Services. I equally recognize the Directorate of Personnel Management and the Kogi State Judiciary Cooperative. I equally reorganized the Directorate of Personnel Management and the Kogi State Judiciary Cooperative Credit and Thrift Society with a view to reposition it alongside other organs of the judiciary for optimal performance in service delivery to staff.
Majebi commended Governor Bello for providing a conducive atmosphere for the judiciary to carry out their assignments, saying it can only get better. He then requests government support at all times.
Consequently, effort is on top gear to automate the probate directorate of the High Court and to further digitize the filing of affidavit referred to as e-probate and e-affidavit respectively. Just lawyers were with them. They were trained on this, and yesterday evening the chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, called me and they said the lawyers are set for this project. We are going to put it in place, and Your Excellency will also be coming to you for support. I wish to commend and appreciate His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, for his forthrightness and sterling leadership qualities, which has created a conducive environment for the arms of government to thrive in Kogi State.
The Chief Judge thanked the Governor, the National Judicial Council, and other stakeholders for their support, assuring that first-line judicial service will not be compromised under his leadership. To aid his movement at delivering his duties, the State Governor Yahaya Bello gave him official vehicles. Justice Josiah Majebi was appointed acting Chief Judge on 27th June 2022. Khadijat Mohammed, reporting for MLC TV.
On politics, the Coalition of United Political Parties has said it stands firmly by its letter to President Muhammadu Buhari asking him to investigate certain politicians in Kogi State over an alleged attempt to cause mayhem in a bid to disrupt the forthcoming elections. The CUPP, in a statement jointly signed by 19 of its leaders, said, arising from a crucial meeting of steering committee members in Abuja, members passed a resolution to distance the coalition from a statement said to have been signed by one of its spokespersons against collective decision. The leaders of the coalition frowned at what they described as wicked blackmail of Ikenga Ugochinyere by a senatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Kogi State, Natasha Apoti-Uduaghan, who they said pressured Ikenga to make the release. They insisted that security agencies should investigate allegations that militants were imported to join Natasha Apoti-Uduaghan's rally last year, among others, adding that their intervention was a patriotic one. According to the leaders of the opposition force, their intervention was necessary in view of the implications of the unfounded allegation against the Nigerian military at a time the citizens should give them all the support to tame insecurity in the country at large. No fewer than 14 different political parties in Ondo State signed an agreement for the peaceful conduct of its supporters ahead of the forthcoming general election in the state. It was gathered that the political parties include the People's Democratic Party (PDP), the All Progressives Congress (APC), the Labour Party, the Social Democratic Party (SDP), and many others. The peace accord was signed by the chairman and candidates of the political parties in the forthcoming elections at the stakeholders meeting organized by the Commissioner of Police in Ondo, CP Oyeyemi Oyediro. Oyediro said the step was taken to ensure that the forthcoming elections were devoid of acrimony and violence before, during, and after the exercise. We go on a short break. We'll be right back. Remember, February 2023 is the general election where you will have the opportunity to elect a new president, governors, national and state assembly members to pilot the affairs of Nigeria for another 4 years. Visit INEC office to get your PVC, which is your power to elect credible leaders. Say no to electoral violence. Say no to vote buying. Say no to thuggery before, during, and after the elections. This message is brought to you by MLC TV.
As suggested in the motion.
From 31st January to June 31st, 2023, say aye. Those against any ayes have it.
Do you know what it takes to lead? Do you understand what is politics? Do you have issues concerning the way we play politics? Do you have reservations about some political mugu? Do you want to serve or be served? Do you want to contest? Do you want to occupy any political office or be in charge of your world? All this and many more are what we discuss right here in the political arena. A program where we trash and rage, condemn and commend, celebrate and blame all that play out in politics. Do not be told. Join me, One Available, every Saturday by 7 p.m. to throw more light on why we play politics the way we do and how we can play it better. Political Arena, building a government of the people and for the people. Don't miss it.
Welcome back. On the foreign scene, China says it will fully restore travel across its borders with Hong Kong and Macau next week, dropping COVID-19 testing requirements and daily quotas after a lengthy pandemic separation. The semi-autonomous cities have both stuck to Beijing's zero COVID-19 strategy for nearly 3 years, splitting families, cutting off tourism, and suffocating businesses. The state councils, Hong Kong and Macau affairs offices said that all remaining restrictions would be dropped starting midnight on February 6th, with group tour allowed to resume. Limited travel across the border between Hong Kong and mainland China resumed in January after Beijing abruptly axed its isolationist policy. Initially, only 60,000 people were allowed to cross each day in either direction, and they were required to show a negative PCR test. A Brazilian senator has said the country's former leader, Jair Bolsonaro, was at a meeting about a plot to keep him in power. Marcos Duval has alleged he was asked to get the head of the Electoral Authority to compromise himself to discredit the presidential election. His son has admitted the meeting took place but denies a crime was committed. Marcos Duval told a news conference that he was invited to a meeting on the 9th of December with Bolsonaro by Daniel Silveira, a former lawmaker and a close ally of the former president. This was more than a month after Luis Inácio Lula da Silva had won the election and 3 days before his presidency was formally approved. Next is sports update. Let's join Jonah Malik.
And on sports update, Real Madrid defeated 10-man Valencia to cut Barcelona's lead at the top of the La Liga table to 5 points. Real Madrid took the lead through a stunning left-footed strike from Marco Asensio in the 52nd minute of the game. Brazilian forward Vinicius Jr. celebrated his 200th Real Madrid appearance with his side's second goal 2 minutes later. Still on sport, charges of attempted rape and assault have been dropped against Manchester United sensation footballer Mason Greenwood. The 21-year-old was arrested in January 2022 amid allegations surrounding images and videos. He was later charged with attempted rape, controlling and coercive behavior and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. In a statement, Greenwood said he was relieved and thanked his family and friends for supporting him. A Manchester United representative said the club had noted the decision of Crown Prosecution Service that all charges against Mason Greenwood have been dropped. They said the club will now conduct its own process before determining next step. Chelsea have confirmed Laurence Stewart and Paul Winstanley will take up the roles as co-sporting directors at the club. Winstanley joined the club from Brighton in November and oversaw the January transfer window alongside the Chelsea board. Stewart will join the club next week from AS Monaco, where he had been their technical director since June 2021. The main role as co-sporting directors will be to work with head coach Graham Potter and his coaching staff to help support the men's first team. On the appointment of Winstanley in November, Chelsea chairman Todd Boehly and co-controlling owner Begdad Eghbali said Paul shares their philosophy and will fit seamlessly into the organization. When announcing Stewart in October, the co-owner said Laurence is an important appointment that they plan to build a deep sporting team that will collaborate closely. And that's sports update on MLC TV News. I am Malik Jonah reporting. Back to Akasta for more stories.
Thanks for the update, Jonah. That is the size of our package for today. Join us next week at this same hour to watch our news as we give you updates on happenings within and across the globe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Malachite TV. Like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV, Instagram, MLC TV 2021, Twitter at MLC TV1. For your event coverage, information, contribution, advert and sponsorship, please call any of our numbers displayed on your screen. Join us Friday and Saturday to watch our special programs. It's Malachite TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone. I am Joshua Adinoy. But just before we go, remember that the 2023 general election is here. Ensure you get your permanent voter cards and elect credible leaders that will represent your interests. Please continue to be your brother's keeper to build a united and peaceful society together. Good day and thanks for watching.